I almost feel as if you had another movie, I don't know if you shot any of it, but what your own experiences of what it must have been like to be, you knew her so well, and then to have been with the troupe again afterwards. And I gather, did they actually persuade you to make this film?
I had given up on it, absolutely. I thought there was no way to, after dreaming it up with Pina for 20 years, to make it without her. For me, it at least initially seemed so pointless that I canceled the film. And we called the financiers and the co-producer and the entire team and just called it off. And it was gone. And then the dancers, weeks and weeks later, 2 months later, started to rehearse the pieces that Pina, together with me, had put on the agenda. And they reminded me that Pina had rehearsed with the young dancers for it, and that her look was still on it. And they also made me understood that it wasn't obvious that they were ever going to be done again. It could have been the last ones, because the future of the Tanztheater at that moment was open. It still is. I mean, they're continuing, and bravely so, and continue into next year now. And they will do the biggest thing in the history of the Tanztheater. They will perform 10 pieces during the Olympic Games in London at the Salle as well. But at the time it was open, and I realized, well, that Pina would have wanted us to film these pieces, and that Pina's motto, which had always been dance or we're lost, and we have to dance. That's what she told her dancers each time. And dance for Pina was a way to deal with life and death. So I then realized that canceling the film was the wrong decision, and we sort of jump-started the whole thing, but with not much of an idea how we could conceptually replace Pina and deal with the lack of her. So at the first step, all we could do was really film those 4 pieces in their entirety, and I've also edited them now in their entirety because Pina would have wanted us to do. Some of them are long, like Vollmond and Kontakte are 2.5 hours long.
Yes.
But we've now finished them, and they also exist, all 4 exist in their entirety. Because in the film we could only use excerpts. And then we took a long break, and it took me a while to understand that the way to finish the film, because the 4 pieces were not a movie, was to use Pina's own method and ask the dancers about her and let them answer with dance.
And then Wuppertal, to include Wuppertal, was that because the place itself was so important to her and her creativity?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, this body of work, these 40 pieces, Pina could not have created that in Berlin or London or Rome or New York. You can't work so concentrated in a big city, and with that consistency. In Wuppertal, she was unobserved. People loved her, but they left her in peace. And it needed a little city like this. And Wuppertal is not a rich city. And actually, it's a city in deep depression economically. And this was the only thing the city of Wuppertal had and did for 30 years. That was insisted that they would support this dance company. It's also their only claim to fame. And because the city so much belonged to Pina, I felt it was important that the city appeared. And again, the model was given by Pina herself, because she did a piece every year, except for 1 year in 1990, she made a movie. It's not very well known. I don't know whether you've ever played it here, The Lament of the Empress.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Yeah.
And with that film, she left the theater, and they shot that with Robbie Muller's assistant, by the way. They shot that all over the city, and I loved the movie. And when I realized I had to continue my film with the dancers and with what they were showing me about Pina, I remembered Lament of the Empress, and we decided to shoot it also in the city and around the city in this amazing industrial wasteland.